Alright guys, welcome back to the channel and episode number 25 of this WWE 2K17 Did You Know series, in which today we'll be taking a look at 5 more things you might not know about WWE 2K17. Did you know the Wyatt family have special animations that take place when all 4 members are at ringside? This one comes from Regeneration, who reveals the Wyatts have 2 special animations that take place when playing singles matches with 3 managers. The animations take place at the beginning of the match when all 3 managers are stood at the bottom of the entrance ramp and your opponent approaches them, with different animations occurring depending on whether Bray Wyatt is ringside or in the match. Speaking of Wyatt animations, Bray Wyatt also features his signature roll animation that you see him use when setting up the sister Abigail as a special animation when breaking out of this victory scene. Did you know there's a way to bypass the table breaking restrictions in tables matches, allowing you to win the match in seconds? This one comes from Bullet Players, who reveals you can win a tables match within seconds by Irish whipping your opponent over the top rope and on the apron, and then executing a running attack such as the spear or the clothesline, which will send your opponent flying off the apron and through the table, winning you the match and squashing your opponent in the process. Did you know WWE 2K17 features an alternate breaking point-like submission system? This one comes from Aiden Evers, who reveals there's an alternate submission system that can be used instead of the default cat and mouse style wheel system. The alternate system works similarly to the old breaking point system, in which players have to continuously press the button shown on screen in order to fill up the submission wheel, at which point your opponent will then tap out. To enable this alternate submission system, head on over to the options section of the main menu and choose gameplay, then switch the submission minigame option from the right trigger to the button selection. Did you know there's 3 really simple crowd glitches that allow you to gain access to parts of the crowd that are usually inaccessible? Previously in the series, we featured a glitch backstage in the GM office that allowed players to go behind the desk and brawl with some hilarious results, but did you know that you can also use the same method to get into the crowd? This one comes from Griffin Reviews, who reveals it's possible to get in the crowd by first inflicting enough damage to your opponent so that they'll lean over the equipment box in the crowd when you whip them into it. Once they're in this position, all you have to do is grab a steel chair and then run into them, which should see them pushed into the crowd. From here, you can either leave them alone, which will see them stay in the crowd, or you can strike them, which will then see you take their place and glitch into the crowd. Alternately, if you want to send your opponent into the crowd, GQ Captain Cake reveals you can do this in an Extreme Rules match by having your opponent stand next to the lower barricade and using the baseball bat to hit them with a running strike. Doing this will send your opponent flying backwards over the barricade and into the crowd. Whilst it's fairly limited with just 1 player in the crowd, it does make for some pretty epic dives to ringside as Shane McMahon runs through the crowd and jumps the barricade to take out AJ Styles. Finally, if you want a quick way to get both players in the crowd, Spot Rex reveals it's possible to do this using AJ Styles' Calf Crusher submission move. For this one, all you want to do is make sure your opponent is standing next to the barricade with their back to it, then execute the move, which should see both players roll through the barricade and into the crowd as the submission is applied. At this point, simply let your opponent break out the submission hold and both players will stay in the crowd. Did you know it's possible to get tables in the crowd? Following on from the crowd glitches, should you want to get weapons in the crowd too, then this is also possible. To do this, you want to set up a table outside the ring on the right hand side in front of the announce table, then go grab the steel steps and drop them to the floor. Once you drop the steps, make sure they're lying flat, and if they are, then you should be able to run into them, which you'll see them move. What you want to do is continue running at the steps so they push the table all the way down the bottom barricade, at which point you should see the table glitch and get pushed through the barricade and into the crowd. From here, you can put your opponent through the table as normal, light it on fire, or pick it up and use it as a weapon. However, due to the table restrictions that were brought in this year that limit where a table can be placed, the game will attempt to block anyone from setting it up. As far as other weapons go, unfortunately the table appears to be the only one which can pass through the barricade, as the other weapons cause the player to stick to the barricade when picking them up, but if you figure out a way around this, let me know about it in the comments. So with that brings us to the end of today's video, but if you've got any lesser known features, secrets, hints or easter eggs that you'd like me to cover, let me know about it in the comments and I'll give you a shout out in the next episode. Also, let me know your thoughts in the comments on all of today's features as well as how many you knew, and if you enjoyed the video, I'd love it if you could drop the like to show your support, and if you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe and smack that bell notification icon so that you can be notified whenever a new episode is released. As always though, until next time, have yourself an awesome day, and I'll catch you later.